Photo by Corinne Road, CC by 2.0. In September 1952, Charlie Chaplin (1889–1977) looked back at New York on board the Queen Elizabeth. He was bound for Europe, to introduce the continent to his latest film Monsieur Verdoux. On the ship, Chaplin learned that the United States government would only let him return to the USA, where he had lived for the past 3 decades, if he subjected himself to an immigration and naturalization inquiry into his moral and political character. "Goodbye," Chaplin said from the deck of the ship. He refused to submit to the inquiry. He would not return to the USA until 1972, when the Academy of Motion Pictures gave him an Oscar for Lifetime Achievement. Why did the U.S. government exile Chaplin? The Federal Bureau of Investigations, FBI, the country's political police, investigated Chaplin from 1922 onwards for his alleged ties to the Communist Party of the United States, CPUSA. Chaplin's file, 1,900 pages long, is filled with innuendo and slander, as agents exhausted themselves talking to his coworkers and adversaries to find any hint of communist association. They found none. In December 1949, for instance, the agent in Los Angeles wrote, "No witnesses available to testify affirmatively that Chaplin has been member CP in past, that he is now a member or that he has contributed funds to CP." Beside the charge that he was a communist, Chaplin faced the accusation that he was an unsavory character who violated the Mann Act, the White Slave Traffic Act of 1910. Chaplin had paid for the travel of Joan Barry, his girlfriend, across state lines. Chaplin was found not guilty of these charges in 1944. It has subsequently been shown in a number of memoirs and studies that Chaplin was cruel to his many wives, many of them teenagers, and ruthless in his relations with women. Peter Ackroyd's 2014 book has the details. In 1943, Chaplin married the playwright Eugene O'Neill's daughter, Una. She was 18. Chaplin was 54. They would have 8 children. Una Chaplin left the United States with her husband and was with him when he died in 1977. There was much about Chaplin's life that was creepy, particularly the way he preyed on young girls. His second wife, Lita Gray, was 15 when they had an affair and then married. He was then 35. FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover had considerable evidence to sift through here, but none of it was found to be sufficient to deport Chaplin. What was the smoke that got into Hoover's nose from the fire of Chaplin's politics? From 1920 onwards, it was clear that Chaplin had sympathies for the left. That year, Chaplin sat with Buster Keaton, the famous silent film actor, to drink a beer in Keaton's kitchen in Los Angeles. Chaplin was at the height of his success. With Douglas Fairbanks, Mary Pickford and D.W. Griffith, Chaplin created United Artists, a company that broke with the studio system to give these 4 actors and directors control over their work. Chaplin was then working on The Kid, 1921, one of his finest films and based almost certainly on his childhood. Keaton recounted that Chaplin talked about something called communism, which he just heard about. Communism, Chaplin told him, according to Buster Keaton, was going to change everything, abolish poverty. Chaplin banged on the table and said, "What I want is that every child should have enough to eat, shoes on his feet and a roof over his head."